What if the Night King wasn't the real villain of Game of Thrones? Picture this. As the army of the dead marches on Winterfell, a shocking twist unfolds. Ned Stark rises from the crypt, his eyes glowing an eerie blue, but he's not here to fight for the Night King. No, he's leading a rebel faction of the undead, determined to save the living and overthrow the true enemy lurking in the shadows. Who could it be? And how will this change everything we thought we knew about the final battle? Jon Snow stands atop the wall, his face etched with despair as the White Walkers advance. Just as all hope seems lost, a familiar voice cuts through the chaos. Winter is coming, but so are we. Ned Stark emerges from the mist, his head firmly back on his shoulders. The tide of battle shifts instantly, as the honorable Lord of Winterfell rallies both the living and the dead to his side. But Ned's not alone. Robb Stark charges into view, leading a ghostly army of direwolves. Catelyn Stark appears, her eyes burning with vengeance. Even Khal Drogo thunders across the battlefield, his spectral khalasar at his back. The impossible is happening before our eyes. But Ned's return is just the beginning of the most twisted Game of Thrones plot you've never seen. Who else might come back? And what dark secrets will they reveal? Picture this. Daenerys struggles to control her dragons as the battle rages. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the smoke, Khal Drogo, back from the grave and ready to tame fire itself. As Drogon unleashes a torrent of flame, Daenerys finds herself overwhelmed. Just when all seems lost, a familiar war cry echoes across the battlefield. Khal Drogo, his spectral form rippling with otherworldly power, leaps onto Drogon's back. His touch calms the beast, channeling its rage against the White Walkers. Robb Stark emerges from the mists, leading a phantom army of Northmen and direwolves. His tactical genius, honed by betrayal, turns the tide of battle. Catelyn Stark materializes at his side, her eyes burning with a mother's fierce determination to protect her family. Tyrion Lannister, ever the strategist, sees both opportunity and danger in these spectral reinforcements. The dead have their own agendas, he warns Daenerys. We must be careful not to trade one army of the dead for another. His words prove prophetic, as tensions simmer between the living and their ghostly allies. The line between life and death blurs, and with it, the certainties that once governed the Seven Kingdoms crumble. As the battle rages on, it becomes clear that these resurrections are more than just a temporary advantage. They're a fundamental shift in the rules of engagement. With the rules of life and death shattered, Jon Snow and Daenerys must face off against the Night King in an aerial battle. Dragonfire meets ice in explosive collisions, lighting up the sky. On the ground, Arya Stark weaves through the chaos, her assassin's training augmented by her resurrected father's guidance. Suddenly, the betrayal Tyrion feared becomes reality. One of the undead allies turns on their own, threatening to unravel the fragile alliance. Jon Snow, caught between two fronts, must make an impossible choice that will determine the fate of the realm. Bran Stark's consciousness reaches through time and space, searching for a solution. In a flash of insight, he uncovers the key to defeating both the White Walkers and the traitorous undead. With time running out, Jon and Daenerys make their final push against the Night King. Aided by their loyal undead allies and armed with Bran's revelation, they engage in a climactic confrontation that puts the original ending to shame. The dust settles on the battlefield, but the real fight for Westeros is just beginning. Imagine this: Ned Stark, Robb Stark, and Khal Drogo standing alongside Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen in the ruins of King's Landing. Tyrion Lannister proposes a radical solution. We've seen what happens when one person sits on the Iron Throne. Perhaps it's time for a different approach. Westeros transformed, the wheel reshaped, not broken. Ned Stark and Daenerys Targaryen, once divided by time and death, now united at a round table forged from the Iron Throne's ashes. Bran Stark, speaking of compromise, proposes a council of the living and the returned, working together to guide Westeros into a new era. The Iron Throne is melted down, replaced by a circular table. Picture this: Westeros transformed, old honor and new ideals united. The Night King defeated, but the real battle just beginning. A clash of leaders, living and dead, reshaping the Seven Kingdoms. What if we could add one more twist to this tale? If you could resurrect just one more character to shake things up, who would it be? Imagine Tywin Lannister's cunning or Olenna Tyrell's wit in this new council, or maybe Hodor finally able to speak his mind. Share your wildest ideas in the comments. The most mind-blowing suggestion might just become our next alternate ending.